If I forget things,
recording.
then I apologise in advance. So, after a conversation with Alstern's parents about his death, his husband's death, and all the trauma he's been through, whilst being simultaneously traumatised by Sharp Pistol, we return to the party where a dance with Slia exposes both Cass and Loran's paranoia. Or evilness? Who knows? Regardless, that seems to be resolved as Loran offers Cass a apologetic hug, and a tenuous trust is formed between them. Louis Sparks meets a very angry elven friend of Lucas named Lithalia Grey Trails, who is very good at skipping rocks and very angry at Alabek and his team. After a night's rest, where
we're gonna go to war.
We're gonna go to war. After a night's rest, where each snooze is punctuated by roll me just at the distance going as he is thrown about by Shu. You wake to find the ice palace largely empty and escorted by a boring guard, a delegation of druids waiting for you to take you down to the place where the trials will begin. And I'm going to have some tea.
Dude.
I'm going to eat the last crunch of my scone. Is there anything you guys would like to add before we start the game? No?
Nope. Daniel's getting married.
Woo! Daniel!
That's a pretty good proposal.
Thomas, did you get a chance to watch the video back?
I have not gotten a chance to watch the whole video back now, but I watched part of it.
Gotcha. So, I will describe again what you see. When you reach the final polar ring, you are greeted by no less than an opaque wall of wind, thick and turbulent. This is where the sleighs leave you. As you approach the wall of cloud, you find that this wall is not being held in place by natural causes. But to what end? You must have to investigate.
Can I roll an Arcana check?
Yes, please.
Can I assist?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So why don't you guys both roll one each?
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Natural 1.
Oh, on that dice? That's unheard of.
Come on, Aylan, it's on you.
I feel like that's interesting. It's an interesting moment.
23.
23.
Also, like, pretty.
Also is preoccupied by the swirling patterns, trying to discern some kind of meaning.
Shapes and colours.
Shapes and colours. As if already engrossed in the trial. Slia, you put a grounding hand on his shoulder. And looking, yes, the cloud here is held in place by magic. It is magic of an older kind you've ever really known yourself. It's disorientating. It's like trying to mix oil and water. These magics just do not seem to mesh with your knowledge and your understanding. However, you get an abjuration kind of energy. As with almost every magic I realise I give you, I love abjuration. I love abjuration. It answers so many questions. So, it seems rather protective than offensive, even if you can't understand it. You can get like that much.
Okay.
Do you want to convey that?
Yes.
Cool. So, obviously you guys are not alone. The group of you all together are just kind of standing. I guess, well, how would you be placing yourselves right now? Are you guys still on the sleigh? Are you right up to the wall of fog? What are you doing?
I go to the wall of fog.
Right up to the wall of fog? Anyone else? Everyone else? All
I'll
of
follow behind Brian if I'm there.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, I have to be right behind Brian.
Protect the boy.
Gotcha. Lucas is right beside you. Also, kind of examining it with you. You see, at his side, he has a very impressive-looking scimitar that's kind of curved and frosted at the handle slightly.
Also, just holds his staff a bit tighter.
And he's just kind of like doing, you know, like the squat.
Yeah.
Whether you examine something, he's just squatting down, looking at this. On the other side of you, Nasha has her hand sort of like half submerged in it, and is just like up to here, and she looks fine. She doesn't seem to be harmed or anything like that. The rest of her team are kind of just sort of like assembled behind her, and then Alabek looks around at both of you guys, and then also.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I insight check?
But before you go, the wall?
Yeah.
You're inside checking Alabek, or
I want to insight check the wall.
Okay.
If it's magical.
Okay.
It's going to be an 18.
18. You know that in between the planes, to travel in between the planes, there are very few ways to go about it. You can use Loran's brand of magic, where you kind of undo the fabric of the ropes, you tear it open. You set up teleportation circles. You accidentally leave scorch marks in the snow. You can do it in the druidic way, where you open up like a grove, like a pathway. This reminds you a bit more of the way you guys have been travelling through the Shadowfell, actually. Those mists that carry you and that you know have a agenda to them. There's an intentionality here behind this wall.
Okay.
You can kind of feel it.
I signal that everyone should hold hands and then step through.
Bluey, I think you also would get that. I think that would actually probably be one of the first things, images that pops into your mind is the
shadow puddle.
The mists that guided you where you needed to go. It seems slightly different.
And the mist that found me whilst in a shizzle?
I think, yes.
General mist. All right.
General mist. It is slightly different, but it is evocative of that. It reminds you of that. That's not to say that a bunch of lapis lazuli is going to fall out of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you motion to hold hands, Loran grips your arm tightly and then pulls, if Cass allows it, pulls Cass to the other side and also grips her hand.
She does.
Saraza takes your hand, Neff.
I grasp it firmly.
You're grasping my hand incredibly firmly.
I'm sorry, I'm just nervous. It's the big wall of...
I understand. You can go on my shoulders if you like.
Oh, is that okay?
I mean, yes.
I would like to scale the Sarazer.
You scale Saraza. You sit up on his shoulders, kind of like have your hands that kind of like braced around his head.
Hold onto his head.
Hold onto his head.
Reins.
Like the rat in Ratatouille. Okay, this is great.
Also, you feel like Saraza might have been aiming to get your other hand, but Lucas gets in there first.
Okay.
It seems only proper. You guys all join hands.
Sarah has to hold hands with Lucas. It's just like...
Interesting.
They are family now.
It's true.
His stepdaughter is marrying Lucas.
This is his son-in-law.
This family tree is just a tangled bush.
My cousin Sarah's son-in-law.
He looks at Lucas. Everything's happening. So, with a firm step, you guys make your way inside this. Stepping through the cloud, you feel, for a moment, a warm embrace. Just going to... Excuse me just a moment.
I like this music.
Yeah,
I know it's supposed to be creepy, but it's very calming for me.
I like
Yeah.
it too.
It's like a lullaby.
That's what it was.
It's so sad.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find... There it is.
Just quickly while you're doing that, can I just test the audio because these are new headphones because I've stolen them from my mum. Is that
Sounds good.
Yeah.
is it okay on my end? Okay,
Yeah, sounds
cool.
pretty good.
I didn't want to cause echo, distortion, and horribleness. So
It looks very
No, it's okay.
Real good. Also, hi, George.
Also, speaking
I'm
of
ready to take your
distortion,
call.
we're finally catching up. I'm finally catching up on Magnus because Emma's put her foot down.
After
Oh.
so long.
So long.
Right. This should be...
Right, that's good to know.
Right, can you hear that? The sound effects?
Yep.
Windy.
Windy? Okay. Is the balance okay? Between music and wind? I can turn down the music ever so slightly. If that would be easier for you.
This
Good
beat.
piece for me.
Okay, then I'll leave it. Okay. Stepping through the cloud, you feel for a moment that warm embrace. But it is the kind of warmth that comes only after you've been cold for a very long time. So cold that you no longer feel it. And your mind almost tricks yourself into changing the sensation to something a bit more pleasant. And then the nausea begins to set in. And Ulster, I need you to make me a dexterity or acrobatics.
Dexterity. Oh, not bad. Let me just grab his sheet. It's gonna be a 16 plus like 2, I think.
Cool.
2 or 1, I can't remember. Just me?
Yes. As you are leading the charge here.
I'm being targeted.
You can do it with advantage because of Lucas, actually, if you...
Yeah, I rolled pretty well though. Oh, I got an 18 on the next one.
There you go.
That's a 19.
19. With a 19,
I get lifted.
as disorientation washes over you, and there is a sound like turbulence in your ears, and you feel that you might lose your direction, you are able to put one foot in front of the other and keep pushing forwards. And the difference now between the wind in the Shadowfell and the wind here is immediately apparent. The wind in the Shadowfell was claustrophobic and it pushed around you as you walked, but this one is smothering you. It is all around. You are in it. You aren't surrounded by it. And there is a difference with that. Now, the way ahead is about 1 foot of visibility before just thick white moisture which hangs in the air and is being blown around on the sides. I want everybody to make me a strength saving throw.
Oh boy.
6.
6.
Can I
20.
can I have a little bit of guidance on that?
You
Or
may,
some
I really
resistance?
need dice. I'm just going to take the ball.
Take the ball.
Well, the guidance didn't do me a whole lot of good, but the natural 20 sure will.
Oh!
That's good.
Which is good because Slia has real bad strength.
I need to be carried.
Yes. Yeah. They rolled the exact same thing. Okay, so
Oh,
6,
that's a sexy roll.
20, natural 20. Louis,
Unnatural 20.
unnatural 20.
Oh.
Neff, I'll allow you to make this with advantage because you are
Cool.
holding on to Saraza. You have a bit more to. You've got a bit more to grip to.
that second roll didn't do so well.
No,
So
it's
my
really bad.
first roll was a 17 minus 1, which is a 16.
16. Okay, that's not bad. Or at least it wouldn't be too bad if Sarasa hadn't rolled a 5 plus 8.
That's still better than me.
Ah! With a 13, Sarasa kind of slips, and you have this like moment of just like lurch. How when you're on the very end, of, you know how like oh, this is an incredibly specific thing.
The magic carpet thing.
Well, no, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, when I used to do skating, there was something we used to do which was windmill, where everybody would hold on in a line, and then there'd be a cross section, and so somebody in the middle was keeping everybody up, and then everybody else on the outside was skating. And if you're on the outside, then it's really, really fast, but if you're on the inside, then it's like really, really slow. Because you've got the height, the fall seems like incredibly sudden and quite far, and you're like ah, but then you're okay. You manage to kind of like grip on as Sarasa corrects himself. Ulster, Loran, and Lucas actually. Lucas is fine.
Oh.
Ulster, Loran, you guys crumple onto each other. The wind is so strong, you almost feel like gravity is switching.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever been on a sailing boat at the height of the high seas, where horizontal becomes vertical in a matter of seconds and walking is impossible, this is what's happening right now. Those of you who are managing to keep your feet on the ground are about a foot from the ground itself as you walk. The wind buffeting you that strong and gravity is just tipping as though the floor beneath you is at its mercy. And that is what the strength saving throw is for.
Cool.
And as you walk, you all holding hands manage to hold each other steady and keep in this chain without losing anyone. You do hear, everyone make me a perception check.
This dice is not it today. It's going in the dice jail. 14.
Oh, natural 20!
Natural 20.
14.
14.
Natural 1.
Oh, God. Sleer, you hear nothing.
Nothing.
Bluey, Cass, Ulster,
15.
you kind of hear it. Sorry, 15 did you say, Bluey? Yeah, yeah. You kind of hear, vaguely see something. And Neff, you see clearly, given your vantage point on Sarasa, a body just slips down and just slides out of sight.
Oh.
Can I? Oh right, yeah. I was going
Do you
to
wanna-
make it a perception check, but I made the perception check to see it.
If you wanted to do something, you would have like one chance to do anything.
Can I just try and see who it was now that I've seen the
Sure.
body?
Yeah.
Would you like that to be perception or investigation?
I think investigation now that you've seen it.
14 again, so
14.
is it enough to just guess whether like which place it's from if I can't guess who?
I'm gonna roll to determine who it is.
Is it Alec?
No.
Because Catherine's like, woohoo! One down!
Okay. This would be, you think, Narsha's, somebody on Narsha's team, who I'm now
one of the
restrike. Sorry, I'm so sorry, it's a lesbian. I can't believe this. I can't believe I've done this disservice.
Mhm.
No, what? Maybe she was the total straight. No one on that team was straight. Nobody on that team was straight. No. Even if she dies weird or disappears into the clouds, I don't want to erase my beautiful lesbians. Right.
She was having a rough day.
Yeah. And she will continue to have a rough day for the rest of the time. So, you guys managed to push on
Oh my god.
10 feet, 15, 20. At the 20-foot mark, you hear crunching beside you, and you see...
Shoe's there, by the way.
Oh, shit.
I'm rolling for shoe.
Yeah, please roll for you.
I think she's got a +5 to her strength, but it's a saving throw.
So +3. You
Yeah.
get proficiency.
So
8. It'll be the same as Sarah's.
that's a 12.
12. Okay. She'll be okay. She's big, is the thing. So the DC for her would be much lower than for you guys. She's much harder to get off the ground, and if she does, she can fly. So she's got a bit of an advantage in that.
Big boy.
She got beef! Anyway.
You got
A
beef.
lightsaber! Anyway. As you guys go, Shu kind of moves around, kind of like extending her wings as much as she dares before she gets lifted off the ground to protect you all. And it does help, that half cover, because your skin was already blistered from the journey here. It is kind of walking through this that you feel just kind of like wounds open and then freeze over on your cheeks and arms. And you hear this crunching and you kind of just look and you can see actually brushing up right beside you, considering the visibility, another member of Nasha's team, this time not alone, with her whole group, and they have long, kind of like grating ice picks that they are stabbing into the ground, and they seem to be made out of some kind of sea animal tusks, which they are using to kind of like catch their grip on the ice. And you kind of, who would be on the end of this line, do you think?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Blue was like one of the first to be up against the wall. I think she might have been one of the last. So
Okay.
I get
Really?
that.
Yeah. As you kind of walk along here, being on the end, you're kind of a little bit more exposed than everyone else. It's a good thing considering you're so strong. But as this sort of extra person kind of comes into your view, and with all of the sort of sensory overload that's happening, you can feel yourself just kind of slipping in your grip on your neighbour, almost like loosening. And just maybe a strength check, if you don't mind.
Check roll
Whilst it's
strength.
happening, I instruct Shu to bring up the rear in case anyone slides back.
Yeah.
That's 25. Yeah.
25. Oh, brilliant. You are able to sort of like firm yourself without losing your grip, and you keep going. And you see this member of Nasha's team. You don't know their name. Actually, you don't know their name. But they seem to be making a very, very swift move. And as you guys kind of go with these people beside you, you do see every now and again glimpses of the rest of the team. Now one person slightly short, moving through as well. And then on the other side, I think probably Neff, Slia, you would see...
I was going to say, because we didn't really clarify earlier that Slia probably would have been holding on to Bluey.
Hold on to Bluey. Okay, then on the other side, Neff, you would sort of see in the distance, just like, even though you can't see any kind of figure, the clouds kind of shifting. And then almost immediately, it almost makes you jump. It's so, the visibility is so low. You see just like a shoulder and the kind of vague outline of a languid kind of black, like clothed figure. Snape, is that you?
Is the shoulder of the clothed figure clothed as well, or is the shoulder bare?
It's a cute little open shoulder moment.
Cute. Okay, I like it.
No, it looks to be a very, very closely woven thin material, which is sort of like it's like smart tech winter clothing.
Okay.
But like fantasy.
I have a new headcanon that Sabek and Alabek are related.
Oh my god! That is quite funny!
Yeah.
Any info that I think Neff would get, she'd relay to her sturdy steed, Sarazar.
It's true, it's happening. Sturdy steed Sarazar. But you're on the ends. The reason it's only on the ends is because that 1 foot of visibility means that from the centre of the group, all stare, kind of terrifyingly, you can hardly see most of your party members. You can see Loran right next to you. You can see Lucas. Mm-hmm. You can just about catch Celia and Sarazar. But Bluey, Cass, Neff are little more than shapes for you.
Okay. I'm gonna trust the rest of the party that we're all hanging on to each other. I trust you at the back, so
I think, though, as the sort of the words come down the grapevine, the convergence of the three teams gives you a feeling that it is not long until you're out the other side of this. And sure enough, in a sudden, almost forceful shift, gravity rights itself again, the wind lets up, and you guys are thrown out the other side of this canal. Now, I would like everybody to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
what is happening? 6.
18. Oh, you put that there so I can see.
Saving throw.
What is happening?
Neff is not.
I'm thinking because you guys are holding hands, it's going to be a group check.
There's something wrong. Oh no, now the 20.
Okay. So, 18. Neff.
This is a 9. Yes, that's the
A
math.
9.
It's 7 plus 2. It's not that hard, but my brain is like 2 cogs that aren't connected.
Another 18.
18. 6. And then Slia.
8.
8. Can I hit the...
Oh.
Right.
Once casted a right her dex check.
16 plus...
Not her forte.
Sorry, doesn't make sense. Let's see. Okay. So, you guys do not stay standing. You're not going to get hurt by this necessarily. You all fall kind of like on like face first, chest first, bum first, onto the ice, and you just slide for about like 15 feet. And there's a moment where you're all kind of like huddled together and you just kind of go like, ah! Like screaming as you just like projectile missile out of this. And so you come to just a slow stop. And then the screaming stops except Lucas for a second, just like, ah! I'm fine. Everything's fine. And I'll tell you actually, so now you are out of this wind. Give me just a moment. Sneeze time. Or not.
Or not.
There we go. Okay. So, you guys stop and you find yourselves near exhausted. This walk through cold cloud, just knocking the wind right out of you. And you look out, and all around you, much like what you're used to seeing from the edge of the Maasai, is a flat expanse of white. There is a thick layer of cloud cover overhead. However, here, there is not a moment where sun glimpses through. It is so tightly woven together that you almost feel like you're inside a dome of that clouded wind. Though, also, you know that you'd never seen any such thing in your time living on the sign. And if it is a dome, it extends forever across the horizon. Something else you notice, and I promise this has no other meaning than fun fantasy stuff. There is no curve on the horizon line. It is entirely flat. Yeah. It is entirely flat and distorted. And it bleeds at the end of your vision. The kind of like the clouds, sky, the ground just kind of blurring slightly if you like kind of stare for too long at it. This place is laced with magic. To what intention, it is hard to say, but it is absolutely inundated. So, looking about, you see the other teams are simply standing here with you. Nasha, it appears, is just about realizing the lack of one of her team members as she kind of looks around and is just like counting heads and sort of starts moving away and looks to the other teams. Alabek is silent, clutching his vessel with his team members, kind of the three of them beside. And you guys are unharmed. What do you do?
Perception check.
Is it quite dark in here? Like with that cloud cover?
I would say that it looks like it's just turned to dawn. You know, that kind of grey early morning. You get that kind of impression.
So say not quite any need for a little light pendant.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Just about got enough.
Okay.
I think Cass would do an Arcana check to sort of get a gauge on the general area.
Okay. So let me just. I need to get one like there's that infographic of the different schools of 5e, like just easy for reference. I need to get that. There we go. Okay, so there is an element, I think, if you roll.
I do, yeah. I got a 21 Arcana.
There's an element of transmutation, and I think conjuration as well.
Okay.
While this is going on, could Slia be ritual casting detect magic?
You can, yes. I'm just going to pop somebody really, really quickly, but we won't do our proper break right yet. I'll just be really, really quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will also pee then.
I'll also pay.
No worries, I will just
anyone's there. Just send 2 photos to the Discord. Pretty sky. It's in a matter of a minute lost the red bits of sun. Pretty. It's pretty. Hola.
Basil smells like stinky poo poo. Stinky poo poo, poo poo bum. Stinky boy.
Uh-oh. Stinky.
My son child.
Sunshine.
Oh. He looks like a little bit like a little koala with like the nose. How the
He
dark
does?
area. Yeah.
I think it's not going to spread. I think it's just going to be his little nose. I think it's cute. How long did Roppy have a little nose for?
It originally looks like that, but I think it was spreading it.
Interesting. He's
I
running
have
around.
I have young photos of Roppy.
Oh my
I can
god.
check this for you.
You met baby Roppy.
I'm very honoured. Would have been very old.
Wow.
Yeah, Ma?
Yeah.
What time are we playing till today?
I work at 11:20, so I work at 11:45, so we're gonna wrap up by 11:20. Which is why we're only gonna have a quick 5-minute break. A little bit later. Rather than doing a full baby boy.
It was spreading more at that point.
Look at the baby. Look at the Basil, it's your big brother.
Don't know where he's gone.
He's in the shoes. Right. So you guys are making perception checks, arcana checks, and slowly your ritual casting. Detect magic. You sent me a photo. Ah, yeah, I just found that one on. I just found that one too. Thank you.
No problem.
Right, so Slia, your ritual casting. Detect magic. So you kind of set yourself down on the ice and you begin to sort of trace these runes into the snow, going about your ritual however it is you usually would. Actually, interestingly, how does Slia cast a ritual? What does it look like?
Actually, I think she's less sitting and more like actually standing and kind of like tracing these like shimmering like borealis runes into like the air.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I love that. So those kind of like set in the air and then drift away And as you kind of like complete this ritual, so detect magic, you can detect the presence of any magical creature, spell, that kind of thing, up to a certain radius around you. If that's and you know the school of magic.
30 feet. You learn the school of magic. There's like this like outline of around things that are magical and
Sure. Okay, so first of all, every group lights up like a Christmas tree. These people are all incredibly magically high-powered people. You've got Cass, just magic, just seeped in it. Sword glowing. You got Ulster. He's got a staff. He's got rings. He's got everything. He's glitzed up. Loran is basically glowing. So all of this together is the recipe for a chaos of detect magic.
He's in the bag again.
He's in the bag. Take him upstairs because I've got to go get my charger. Hang on, I'm going to get
Hands in the bag again.
Go in the bag.
He doesn't understand the concept of suffocation.
He
Damn.
doesn't understand the concept of anything.
Bagel, 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 bagel man. Right.
It's like he's in the strangest jumpsuit. And I've said this before. It's great.
He's incredibly unintelligent. It's quite remarkable.
And incredibly cheeky.
He's very cheeky, yeah.
Good for him.
He's very much like, don't touch this, and he's like, oh.
Right, Lily, man the door. Oh, no! He leapt across.
Oh, that's all right.
My goodness.
He did sleep really well last night, though. I'll give him that.
Oh my god, the illusion is broken. Hi.
Hello.
I'm being squished. Right. So everybody lights up, and I'll tell you if anything new comes into the area.
okay. And it lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay.
We're just gonna hold that concentration.
Gotcha. Louis.
If the stone that Brian was given is kind of out and visible, could Bluey
Yeah,
just like
it's in
look
a
at it? Oh, it's in a bag? Fuck, okay.
You can probably ask to look at it if you wanted to.
I know you might be reluctant to get it out, Brian, but I don't know, is the
You
stone clean?
ask it, your answer.
No. I'm
Also,
not gonna have
I'm
Bluey.
happy.
Crystals like that are so expensive. You don't want to expose them to other members of other groups of.
Okay.
I'll shut up.
Ulster will give Bluey a peek inside the bag of the crystal.
Okay. So, Bluey doing an investigation, probably not a great idea, but she wants to investigate it. She wants to, I don't know if it's Arcana or Investigate, but
Could I
has
assist?
anything about it changed?
Okay.
Bluey, do you want an Arcana assistance?
I
I'll
can't.
roll one then, because I think I have a bigger.
Okay.
28.
20. Did you want to roll the
11?
12 and 28. Okay. Without Bluey's invaluable assistance, you are sure that you'll be able to find out much, much less Ulster than you're able to.
I'm in complete darkness.
So, together, looking at this item, moving through the clouds has seemed to give it a slight luster, allure that it didn't necessarily have before. You kind of like turn the bag slightly as if trying to catch it on light, even though you know there is no really natural light penetrating this except for the very faint glow of dawn, or dawn light, so it seems. I'm just trying to think of how to describe it. I mean, you've noticed that in most things, taking an item from one place to another, for example, if you're taking a Fey piece of equipment back to the Fey world, you wouldn't see much of a change in it. However, here you do kind of see a kind of shift, a kind of luster that makes you think this is of this place.
It's happy to be home.
Yes. There you go. Mm.
So maybe we have to put it somewhere
Who knows?
specific.
I think that's not a bad idea. But and Laurent looks around to the vast expanse of nothing.
Mm.
Where do you suppose we're supposed to put this?
Maybe the ice will crack open and there'll be a cavern underneath.
Maybe that could be it. Also, I do want to add. It is very flat here, but there are occasionally like gradations in the ground. Like there are like kind of like slight shelves of ice, but you can't gauge how tall they are because without that horizon curve, it's kind of messing with your idea of distance. So you can't quite tell whether it's a slight drop or a huge cliff face, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Cass would like be looking kind of very. This feels very much like, you know, when you're at school and you're doing work and you're like, you're right next to people and you're like, nobody copy me, and you like start building barriers to like protect your work. I think Cass is going to be looking to the other groups to like try and suss out. Are they doing anything? Or are we all just waiting for something to happen, or are they starting to do something? In which case, Cass wants to do what they're doing.
Okay.
Whilst Cass is doing that, can I start a commune with nature ritual?
You can definitely. There you go. So also you start your ritual at 10 minutes, yeah? Yeah. Okay. In the 10 minutes that it takes for this ritual, you notice, Cass, that Lucas is kind of like drifted to the edge of the group and it's kind of almost similarly to you. It's like just observing the other two groups. Alabek, Zor, and Valda, along with the elf who you haven't met before, but I have a name for them in this document, which I'm going to just tell you so that I don't have to call them the elf every time because there are so many elves here. The dark elf ally is named Indira. So the four of them have actually begun walking just ahead. They've picked a direction and they are just going. Nasha and the rest of her team are looking between you guys and Alabek, and it looks almost like they're making an assessment. Whether they're doing the exact same thing you're doing, or they're doing something else.
Can I try and, with Alabek, can I try and see if they've literally just gone, right, this direction, why not? Or can I see if they've got like a bit of knowledge that we don't have?
Okay. Make me an insight check.
Not my best, but we'll see. This is what happens
If
when
anybody
Brian's
wants to
too
assist,
busy.
you may. Maybe
Yeah.
just a
ritual, yeah.
Does someone want to assist? And then do I roll advantage? If
yes, or two separate rolls, whichever you guys want.
I don't mind.
Okay, advantage then. Who's assisting?
I can't.
Sweet.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 21. I had a
21,
19
okay.
and a 15 on the die.
21, right. So, you get the impression that Alabek's team, knowing what you know about Alabek, they wouldn't really leave anything to chance. They seem to have a piece of knowledge that you don't have. And the way that kind of makes you sure of this is that they aren't walking dead center towards the middle of the ice. They are walking slightly to the right.
Okay. I think Cass recognises that Brian's in the middle of the ritual, so she's not going to say anything just then. But that, like, once Brian has finished, and she will share the knowledge with everyone else as well. But like keeping it like whispering so that Nasha doesn't hear.
Gotcha.
And kind of like, I think Cass is gonna sort of like look to Alabek and like, because obviously she's waiting for Brian to finish the ritual and kind of pretend like they don't know what they're talking about.
Okay. As you're still doing the ritual, Lucas approaches the team and he says, guys, I had this idea. Now, I think we should probably try and like talk to the other contestants and get an idea of what their items are, so that we have a bit of an idea of what might be coming as well. Because we don't know, we only really know what we have right now. Or maybe if they won't open up their items, maybe we could just talk to them and kind of like, I don't know, try and become friends.
Ulster's face down on the ice.
I was thinking of doing something very different, but it is your trial, so.
Cool. So, Cass, you seem to be in tune with the lesbians and bisexuals of this world.
Says a bisexual man.
Why don't you and I go to Narsha's team and try and suss them out? And then Neff, well, he looks at you, Blue. Blue, you've got a bit of a history with Alabek and them, haven't you? Would you feel comfortable talking to him?
Look, he seemed comfortable talking with me.
Right.
It's not like we've got anything to
say to each other, really.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I've got like extreme secrets that can't be divulged because we're here now, and if you want to like collaborate or
I think collaboration might be a good idea. If we can.
But I think maybe don't tell him what we have unless it's got to be an exchange. He can't get more out of the situation than we do.
Loran says, I kind of agree. Iceman just goes, Okay, so
I could
Lucas
go with Louis.
suggests splitting into two groups. One to address Nasha and one to chase after Alabek. Sleia, sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, she just said that she could go with Bluey.
Okay. So, Bluey, Sleia, Neff, are you going to go to Nasha or Alabek?
Where is Sarazer at the moment?
Sarazer is... you get the impression that the Dehanes are going to be protecting Ulster as he is face down, just kind of like in the snow.
Ice, ice, baby.
Ice, ice, baby.
I think it's going to be group protecting Brian, group to lesbians, group to greasy man.
Yes.
Brian, lesbians, greasy man.
Mm-hmm.
Can you jump in? How much does Neff and Nasha have in terms of like past history?
I don't think you guys have ever spoken.
Yeah.
Which gives you a fun slate.
She is a fellow lesbian.
That's where she goes. That's where Neff goes.
Fellow lesbians.
And you
Okay, so Cass, Neff, and Lucas head one direction. Bluey and Sleia head the other. Do you want to bring Shu with you? Just so you have the rule of three?
Is this to Sleia and Bluey, or?
Yeah.
I mean, we do have courage.
Oh, there you go. There you are. Okay. Courage, Sleia, Bluey. Right, so Cass, Neff, you guys kind of like crunch your way over. It makes sense. You guys are slightly shorter stature. They're closer. Why not? Lucas leads the charge. And he just raises a hand and says, "Hail and well met, fellow friends, fellow candidates. We wanted to..." Nasha growls at him like,
Man.
and bares sharpened teeth. And Lucas goes, "Oh, what an interesting greeting."
Can I try and mimic?
Nice looks to Cass and looks to Neff.
I think Neff
Nasha's
wants
just
to imitate.
literally growled at us, has she?
Grrr.
Yeah.
I think Cass is gonna like roll an intimidation check to sort of match energy.
Okay.
Oh yes, we're all growling. Let's go.
Neff, are you gonna
Yes.
growl as well?
Grrr.
Okay.
Fear
How
me.
intimidating are you, Neff? Go on, roll intimidation.
Should I roll intimidation?
Lucky
Oh
you're not
my
getting
god, I rolled an
disadvantage.
actual 20.
Oh!
30 on my intimidation.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I don't think Neff wants to
And
be
Neff,
intimidating.
roll?
Can I just roll performance? Because I don't think Neff is trying to be intimidating.
Sure.
I've
Okay,
never
that's
been so intimidating
15.
in her entire life.
15 on performance.
Yeah. You are exactly half as intimidating as Cass, and
Oh
not
my
quite convincingly so. But Cass, with your 30, you just kind of like. There's a moment where your wrap slips, and you can see the other eyes kind of widen beneath. And you just kind of open your mouth like gaping more, and you just go like you're back in the arena. And Nasha just kind of like. And she kind of
And
like.
I think after doing that intimidate check, I think Cass is then gonna like flip to like be like really scary and really intimidating to like sugary sweet like. And now we would just like to have a talk, if that's okay with you.
Grr.
Nasha and her team kind of look to one another, and then she says, "You want to have a talk? What about exactly? You want something from us?"
A 5-7?
I mean, yeah, Cass is like, wow.
Brian, I'm married.
You seem like two very distinguished, terrifying lesbians. Bisexuals.
welcome to the group. Hello. I think we can help each other.
How so?
Have you got an idea of what to do next?
We're thinking.
For a while,
Actually,
I'd
it's so
say.
interesting. We were thinking we might come to you.
Ah,
Let's be honest.
great minds.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
Lesbians.
You have the homosexual and lesbian just bzzz energy.
Lucas. Lucas looks concerned slightly and kind of casts that look at you, Cass. And then Nasha continues.
Wait, before Nasha continues, can I just try and gauge exactly what Lucas is trying to put down?
Yeah.
I will be inside checking these lesbians when they come over.
That's only a 7.
It's
So-
only a 7. Next,
It's only
can
a
you try
7.
anything? Say anything?
Neff will go, grr. This time at Lucas.
Lucas kind of like, we're on the same side.
Grr. Is it convincing?
That's
Why
why
don't we pop that
That's one
aside?
chat with the lesbian group, and it's like, I'm switching sides.
Lucas, are you my
Um,
brother-in-law now? Is that how that works?
Okay.
Grr.
You are. I don't think I'm allowed to tell you that you're scary because you're my sister-in-law now.
You can say I'm scary. That's a great compliment.
You're very terrifying
Thank you.
to some people,
Aw. So that means I'm not scary.
including me.
Oh, that means I am scary. Grr.
But this is beside the point.
Hmm.
Diplomacy. Lucas looks back. Look.
Of course.
We come because we want to make sure that we all get out of this. We've already seen one of your team members.
Go bye-bye.
Not goodbye. Why all scared they should be us.
It's a little whisper.
Be knocked out of the competition. We don't want that to happen to anyone else. And Nasha says, I wouldn't quite say that. Let's be honest, neither of us want him on the throne. Looks to Alavek. Wouldn't it make sense if we right here, right now, made a decision to help each other, at least until he's out of the picture?
Some sanguine bullshit.
Cass is like, I'm so down for this. Let's axe the greasy man. Let's get rid of him.
Oh my god.
Nobody wants them here. Let's be honest. What allies do they have? What skills do they have?
She's mean.
Compared to us? Compared to a group of 4 powerful lesbians? No.
Literally, if this was the story I was reading, I'd be like, I'm all for this group of lesbians. They're the ones to win.
It sounds like you don't support the small femme homosexual.
I may be cheery, but I am filled with an internal rage.
And Dan, you kind of look. The only reason I'm offering you guys this is because I love your cat.
It's my cat.
And I'm not an idiot. You're the stronger choice. Take this offer back. Take this offer back to your prince when he's done with his spell. We're going to pick a slightly different direction and test our luck. Unless you would give us a reason not to.
I propose a sharing of information.
All right.
We see what you were given, what token you received, and we'll show you ours. Well, Lucas and Brian will.
Lucas says, I don't know about erasing the other team. That seems a bit extreme and unnecessary for me, and I'm surprised you would want that considering you've already faced loss yourselves. But I'm not against the sharing of information. Think on it. Walk a while. You don't have to make a decision right now. But if we can help each other, we should. All of us. Cass, can we talk? Please. Back to the group.
Of course.
Neff, you're terrifying. Nasha thanks and stay safe. And Nasha says, you are diplomatic. But you're not ferocious enough to make a good king, if you ask me.
That's why there's 2 of us.
Just the 2 of us.
Stay soft, we're going to go that way. And they point vaguely towards Alabek and the team. Boom! Something happens.
With the no night?
They're just on the floor.
Yeah, this is the lamp.
I think as Cass turns away from the lesbian group, she'll give them a smile, which is both part intimidating, part
What would Freya think?
So,
Freya would
guys
also
step
be equally flirty. I'm sorry, I stand by Cass's decision.
back towards the group. Okay. Bluey and Sleer, to catch up with Alabek, Zor, Velda, and Indira, you have to make a bit of a trot to the other team. You pick up the pace and kind of hurry over. And when you kind of approach them, they don't stop for you. They just slow down their pace. How do you go about approaching them? What do you say?
Hello. Do you able to chat just a little?
I think make a charisma or persuasion check.
Sleia assist in this?
Yes.
Right. I will do persuasion. Wait, assisting means is that advantage or no? Or
Straight up.
Sleia, will you roll your own? Oh no, what's happening?
No. It's sorry. It's going to be advantage.
Okay.
But just to use straight up.
Okay. Well, at advantage, that is 17.
17.
Can't believe it.
Okay. Then Bluey, Alabek dismisses you for a moment, it seems. And then, unsure why, even in his own mind, he stops and reconsiders. And he turns to you and he just says, "What could you possibly want to talk about right now, right here?"
Well, I think Lucas sort of discussed with us and sort of said it was okay, as I'm remembering it, even though it just happened, it's a good idea to make sure that everyone is at least safe in this place because, Nasha lost one.
I noticed they came in with one less. A casualty.
I think generally minimizing any more.
Yes.
And he proposed if you wanted to exchange information, especially about the tokens, right? So gesturing, they're called tokens.
Yeah, the
Right.
item token, you can use anything really.
Mm.
That would describe that. When you say that, Bluey, there is a moment of kind of like a flush, like a really intense kind of like rage flush goes over his skin, and he turns away from you and he says, "No, I'm not letting you see mine."
Can I insight that?
Sure.
That's 12.
12. It's a really hard emotion to read because you expect it would be it's completely out of what you were expecting. It's hard to read.
Can I give it a shot as well? Just
Go on then.
Just thank you. That's 19.
19. It seems almost like shame.
I mean, I don't know exactly what the end result really is because we're competing against each other. I guess it's, but I mean, this place is hard to look at. Are we on a curved surface, or does it just generally? She's like, what is up with the horizon?
Alibek still hasn't turned back to you, but one of the other team members, who seems a little bit more open to speaking, the dark elf ally, Indira, who you haven't spoken to before, she turns to you and she says, "This place is beyond what's on any map. The only way I can describe it is parallel to our world, a liminal space. Things come from here, or at least they used to."
I'm about the old place that just like all the talk of how the stone was made.
How the stone was made? What do you mean?
Wasn't it kind of part of the architecture?
Yes.
The hydro quartz.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be correct.
So she might slip and say stone, the arch.
If you say that, Indira's eyebrows kind of raise, and she says, "Stone? What do you mean?"
Blue will look to Slayer.
Well, we were encouraged to work together. And we would like to see everyone make it out of this. If you want to know more, maybe we work together.
Indira looks to Alabek, and Alabek still hasn't turned back. And he says, "It's easy for you to say. You don't have that much to lose."
True, we are outsiders, but you have much to lose. And also much to gain. Wouldn't you rather come out of this with allies, no matter who sits the throne?
Make a persuasion check.
That was good.
All right,
I see.
15 plus 3, 18.
18. Okay. With 18, there's a moment where Indira looks convinced almost, and looks over to Alabek, and Alabek turns and just, there's a brief glimpse of curiosity in his eyes behind that kind of like scowl, and he says, "Perhaps. That's not a decision I can make in the light of the moment. I don't know if I even trust you yet." And nods his head, motioning his group to continue. Is there anything else you want to say before they walk out of sight? Well, out of distance of you?
I mean, if we find each other again, I think we'd be happy to talk still. So
There is really a response from the other team. From around your neck, Bluey, Courage just kind of lifts their little head and just goes, "Very good Bluey sparks." Like a little icicle on the tip of their nose.
I'm impressed you understood a little bit of that. Have you been working on your common?
Very
Okay,
much.
I'm gonna full on bring him under
Sure.
like more under the cloak, like just
That's good. That's more than okay. So,
there.
with that, you guys carry on. Well, the other teams carry on moving, and you guys kind of just turn back to your team. Ulster, face first in the ice. As these two conversations happen simultaneously.
He didn't have to be face down. He just didn't want to be in the conversations. He was like, "Yeah, I need to do this."
And I think I'll allow you to just have a very, very quick conversation with anyone if you want to. Because I think Loran next to you will just kind of lean down, just like having fun down there.
I think, no, it wasn't that he wanted to avoid conversation with the other teams. He saw Saraza and the Ran standing over him and was just like, "Yes," and buried his face in the ice.
So,
Started glowing.
Loran looks at Ulster, looks up at Saraza, grimaces, and then goes back to Ulster. And you hear just in your mind, "As if we'd let this get in the way of the most seminal moment in your life."
I mean, I'm sure there were other seminal moments in my life, but this is quite important.
Marriage,
Yeah.
the conception of our first child, reconciling with your parents,
Yeah.
meeting me.
That was a traumatic moment, but yes.
It was.
I love you.
I love you too.
You're interrupting my glowing. He shoos him off.
As you glow, Ulster, you have this communion with nature. You reach out and you feel as much as you can, taking in the ice. You can smell the fresh water, so solid it feels like stone beneath you. You feel the bitterness in the air, the way it kind of like needles at your skin, the wind, which has just gone from a turbulence to a slow blistering. Feel the cold and how far it reaches down to the core of whatever it is you are on right now.
Cool.
And you feel around you the surroundings. There is something more than ice here. There is a structure, partially natural, partially man-made, leagues away from you.
Underground?
Partially
Which way?
the way that Alabek seems to be moving. Something else. Ulster. As you have that realization, as you pull up urgently from the ice and look towards Louis and Slia, who are about 40 feet away from you, you try to shout out a warning, but it is already a moment too late. As you register the presence of a huge basin beneath the ice you are standing on. It's because the basin was part of one of my big headers.
I literally said that.
Yeah. The basin.
The basin.
The ground begins to rumble beneath your feet.
Can I have any reaction?
Your reaction, I'll give you. You can shout out to someone if you want to say something.
I think because Laurent's right next to him, he'll say, "They're falling."
So, the ground rumbles beneath your feet, and in moments there is a giant, almost, is cataclysmic a word?
Yep.
Cataclysmic rumble, and you guys feel the ice fracture beneath your feet, and there is this low moan or grumble which you cannot place, that you've never heard before. But if any of you have ever heard the sound of actual ice shelves fracturing, it sounds like that. I would have you all make me dexterity saving throws. But Loran, with that moment of warning, as you guys begin to fall, free falling alongside fractured planes of ice, Loran twists his hands and pulls. Cass, Louis, Ulster, Neff, Slia, Sarazen. The six of you are all able to float gently down.
Whee!
Whilst Loran just kind of rips onto you. Also,
Yeah,
like,
also we'll grab Laurent.
Ha ha ha! This is fun. Everyone else around you, you hear this just kind of like crashing of ice. And in fact, I feel like I need to change the music because this is a bit too pleasant, isn't it?
Blue and Slee are a little bit too far from Alabek
You are about
to
40 feet away.
Right, yeah.
Rushed after Alabek.
Okay.
So,
Has anyone else fallen?
yes. Everyone. I'm going to get to that description. So, you guys crash down. Well, no. You guys float down while the ice crashes to the ground, leaving a gap of roughly 80 feet beneath you. Nasha, her team, who are called Quiver, Polar, and hang on, what's the other one's name?
If they're close
Call them
by,
the
can I,
lesbians. It's all good.
do I have a chance to kick the carpet out to catch them?
I think I'll explain to you what you see, and then I'll give you guys. We're going to get into a skill challenge where you guys are going to use your skills to kind of make the best of this pretty shitty situation. So, Nasha and the lesbians suddenly just kind of like slip down, and they are all just free falling down. There's a 20-foot shelf of ice that is cleanly fractured, and it is tipping almost like a mountainside. You see, that's pretty good. Nasha just kind of like almost instinctively flip around, and then she pulls out those tusks, those kind of ice picks, and digs them in, and you see her scrape down, her teammates following suit. One of them doesn't quite dig in deep enough and is swung over the lip of this ice shelf, and there's a moment.
Can I try and catch them?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I kick the carpet out and direct it over there?
Okay, so I want everybody to roll initiative. Also, I'll get you at the top.
Because he doesn't want to see anyone die.
Yeah. Just give me a second. Hang on. Okay. So 25 to 20.
I didn't roll because you said.
You're fine. Okay, Louis.
23.
Coming in hot.
Right. Ulster.
Yeah, actually, I've got to think about what to do.
20 to 15. Cass. The ram. 15 to 10.
11.
Good on you, Neff.
Yeah, sorry, I got a 19. I realised I didn't actually say what I got.
That's okay. And then 10 and below.
9.
9. Sleer, Sarazur, Lucas. Shira's going to go on your initiative also. Okay. So, top of the round, Ulster. You see as Nasha's team are slipping down this shelf. 1, 2, 3 of them are able to secure themselves. One of them, the ice dryad, slips off the edge and disappears over the lip of the ice. What do you do?
I'll send the carpet to grab that one. If you
Okay.
can.
The carpet swoops around and you just, in a moment, out of sight. 1 second passes. 2. Roll me a d20, please. And I'll let you add your dexterity.
Not very good.
Very good.
11.
Do you want to use a luck point?
How high are the stakes? Like death stakes?
This is pretty much
Okay. I'll use different dice. Natural 20.
natural 20. 11 would not hit. Natural 20, 1 second passes. 2. The carpet peeks out the other side just as 2 ice shelves crash together. You see just the pack of one of these, like the traveling pack of one of these little beautiful lesbians, get just smashed between it. Glass bottles shattering, leather is squelched down to nothing and spat out of the other side of this crack like paste. But the carpet pulls up, and this dryad is, for all intents and purposes, safe. Bluey, you are feather
Right.
falling. What are you going to
Are you
do?
going to take any action?
Do you want to?
As Alabek's team.
Let me perception check. Just 1 second.
Perception?
Yes.
19.
19. Alabek's team, along with Bluey and Bluey and Sleer, on the far side of this ice drop basin. You see as they are tumbling almost like side on. Nothing really to keep them secured to the ice. They are just gripping onto whatever they can. Their side is a bit more of an avalanche than like broken ice shifts.
Okay. I will send Shu over to do what she can to help them.
Sure. Bluey, it's your turn. And as you kind of like look down to Alabek's team and you're not sure what exactly is going to happen, Shu just kind of like soars overhead and begins to try and like fly alongside in line with the falling members of the team.
Okay.
Blue, do you want to do anything?
This might require 2 turns. I'm thinking of maybe tying the rope that I have to that. Okay, it says in my notes trident, but it's a pitchfork. And if my side is more of an avalanche though, rather than just like ice sheets, it doesn't sound like it'd be easy to like stab some. Okay, she's got to try though. 50 feet. How big was the drop?
How big is the drop? It's 80 feet. Huh.
Okay.
The rate at which you guys are falling is far, far slower than the rate at which the others are falling. Shu is flying now kind of in tandem with as many of Alabek's team as she can, but they haven't yet managed to grip onto anything. If you have rope that you could throw to them, if you have something you could chuck down, or anything you want to do, or if you want to just hold your action until you can do something, that is also okay.
Okay. I might for now with one hand with one hand if I can hold one end of the rope and send the other end down. Try to send it near one of.
So you're using either athletics or strength to help this other team. So would you please roll me a? Would you please roll me either one of those?
I'll roll athletics. That's 21.
21. Okay. So if anybody gets into the position where they could grab this rope, you will be strong enough, you think, to hold them down. Okay. Cass, what are you doing?
Yo. Okay, so you've got Alabek and that lot way over there, so I'm not going to be able to do anything for them anyway. Then you've got the lesbians doing some really cool Azula saves on the ice sheet. And then we've got another lesbian who has been Jasmined on a flying carpet. And then you've got us, which is just sort of like feather floating. Yeah, and we've just got and then and our group we're just sort of feather floating down. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What is like? You say we're feather floating down, but are we still at risk of anything where we are?
Yeah. So it looks like the closer to the ground you get, the more debris you are seeing. You're not quite in the danger zone yet, but I would say when you're about halfway down, you kind of notice that those ice shelves that had initially just kind of like caught and slammed together are not secure. The sort of supporting ice is buckling. There is another
Okay. Cool. In that case, Cass is going to cast Levitate on herself and is going to cease falling and is just going to be hovering, and that's all she can do. And so now she's hovering and observing everyone else.
Okay, keeping your eye. Gotcha. Loran, holding on to you, Ulster, is going to Misty Step both of you onto the carpet.
The other one.
Oh wait, is the other one just
He's got the other one.
Okay, sweet. Never mind. Loran is going to unfurl the magic carpet and is going to roll onto that with Ulster at his side.
It's really great to do.
Right. Next up, Bluey, Sleer. as you fall, you kind of as you fall, you guys are right beside Alabek's team. Well, right above them as they kind of tumble down. I didn't describe it very well, but you know, in a snowdrift, how snow begins to pile up and up and up and up and up, and you know that beneath them is sharp, sharp, sharp ice. But at the moment, they are being simply buffeted and forced down a steep slope, and you can see just kind of like a bedrock of jagged ice waiting to greet Alabek's team at the bottom. And there is a moment when you're like, oh shit, we're a bit late in the game trying to help them here. But then Alabek raises his hands and just like pushes forwards, and you see the ice just move aside, creating a smooth kind of like slide almost for them. As he braces himself and reaches out, trying to grab one of his team members. And they kind of like, it's like, you know that moment where it's like this, you're almost able to grab, but you can't quite reach the person to his left, who appears to be Valda. Okay, next in the order, Nef.
Okay. Roll something like a perception check to just properly ascertain any sort of nearby dangers.
Yes, so roll me perception, please.
Okay, not the greatest. It's a 10.
A 10? Okay. With a... Hang on. With a 10... Hang on, I'm having a slight technical issue.
That's okay.
Right. So, with a 10, it's hard to tell, but I'm going to say you know your teammates well enough. So when you see, is it Bluey, were you assessing the kind of dangers, or was that Cass?
I think Cass was looking around.
Cass, okay.
Yeah,
Kate
Cass
was rotating.
Yeah,
Bluey
you
was
should-
just trying to get broke down. Yeah.
Neff, you notice Cass kind of looking and trying to sort of assess what's going to happen where, and you kind of like catch onto her intuition that once you guys get to the bottom, once you finish falling, your problems are not going to go away. There's going to be a bit more danger and peril to come.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I'll use my bonus action to panic a little bit as I continue falling.
Yeah. Slia.
Can I do a survival check to essentially assess the situation and how best I can like help with basically the closest people around me, which I assume are like Bluey and Alabek's team?
Sure. So roll me survival, please.
Okay. Cool. That's a dirty 20.
Ooh. With a dirty 20, Slia, you get the impression the best way you might be able to help the team members around you now would be to find a way to either pick people up off the floor so that they aren't just waiting around to get crushed, or to stop people falling. As cool as Nasha's team's moves were, they are now sort of trapped on this drifting like wall of ice. As Nasha has yet to have her turn.
Okay. Can she kind of like attempt to like swim through the air, kind of in this like floating feather fall thing going on?
What are you using to anchor yourself?
Nothing.
Would she
She's
be
kind
able
of
to
like,
catch the rope?
yeah.
The rope might be a bit too far away for you. Oh my god, that gif of Groot's Neff is brilliant.
Like, I think essentially what she's got in mind is if she can kind of like just flail through the air to kind of just like push into like Alabek towards like his teammate that is trying to go on there.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Bagel Man!
Ah, the wee babu.
Somebody else has. He tore a hole in the hatchet. Oh god.
What?
Oh, my goodness. It's a bit
Rowdy
rude.
boy.
He's so happy. Do we want to take a hang on? When we get to the end of this round, we'll take a quick break. Just 5 minutes so that we can figure out what to do with him.
He's away. The screaming started.
Okay. Also, I'm just going to open my lecture on it in the background, so I have the attendance without actually.
Participating.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. Yeah. Also, I'll be able to see that. I'll be able to record it. Anyway. So, Slia. If there's nothing you can use to anchor yourself, you're not necessarily going to be able to move.
Okay.
But I will give you a chance if you want to use rope to try and like throw your rope. If you want to use magic, that's doable. This isn't like a traditional initiative. It's more you describe what you want to try and do, and we figure out how you can kind of do that. So you want to try and anchor yourself. You want to try and get towards another group. You need to anchor yourself on something.
Okay. Let me just have a quick. Slia's a knitter. She does crochet. She's got thread. So
use yarn. Okay.
just gonna try and like, I guess lasso whatever. Maybe Alabek's foot. You know, just something to get over closer, or maybe shoe. You know.
Wait a second. I'm so sorry. I love that idea, but you are right next to Bluey, aren't you? You're not near the Marshalls team. Okay, then I will allow you to try and grab the rope if you want to climb down the rope.
Well, Slia just wants to kind of like move closer to try and like, if they aren't quite able to like connect, Slia wants like at least like Alabek and his teammate to be able to like connect and maybe have a chance on this like rope. Yeah.
Okay. You want to throw Alabek and his teammate in line. So make me a.
I'm not good at strength, but
I think
trying
this is
it
more
anyway.
a finesse dexterity situation. So you're not going to add your proficiency. You're just going to add your dex, and you're going to treat this like a attack, kinda.
I'm okay with that. I'm great with.
Yeah.
I'm happier with a not negative roll. Oh, yay! That's a 17.
Amazing. Okay. With a 17, I think it's impossible. Does that seem right to you? Like, I think what happens is the yarn kind of tangles on their hands. How strong it is, you don't know.
Bless you.
How strong it is, you're not sure. But I guess the outcome is somewhat what you wanted. Like, they're kind of tangled now. And when it comes back to Alabek's turn, you can see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
Right.
She's trying to do something. That's really all we could ask for.
Sure. Okay. So, next up is Saraza, who has very little skill when it comes to these things. But he is going to, considering that he was right next to Ulster and Loran, he is going to sort of like pull his sword and he's going to shout out, Ulster, I'm sorry. And he's going to try and like anchor himself onto the carpet by using the length of his sword to kind of like nick it.
Ulster is rapid.
You just hear it as it rips and then catches in the thick rope of the tide. And you just as it looks like it's about to butter knife through, he just twists it so the flat of the blade is against the edge, and he just like pulls himself forward and like pulls out the sword and grips onto the carpet, and he's like, I will pay to fix this.
It's irreplaceable.
I will sew it myself.
Ulster looks away.
Loran's like, finally, he's chosen a side. Right. So, last in the order is Lucas. Lucas, seeing the plight of Nasha and her team, kind of like in his feather-falled state, secures a rope to the end of an arrow and kind of shoots it over, and so it embeds in the ice and just lets the rope fall 50 feet. And it just twists and twines until it hits the floor, and the ice below is churning almost like a meat grinder as it kind of like pulls and is suctioned in, and the edge of the rope is just like grazing the top of that. And Lucas just looks over and says, "A lifeline, I think. Probably. Don't touch the bottom." And Nasha's like, Nasha's team, at which point, kind of dig themselves in, and one of them continues over to the rope and starts pulling and chesting the weight of it before throwing her whole weight onto it, and begins to abseil down. And when we get to the end of this round, which I think we're about to, we'll take a quick break, 5 minutes, at which point we will resolve, and I'll tell you what happens when you reach the bottom of this basin of ice. So let's be back in like 10:35-ish. Blue, tea, water, whatever you need. Cool. All right. I'll see you guys in a bit.
Need to restart my computer, but which means I will need to leave the call, but I'll be right back.
No, none for you.
Hello. Do, 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 do. How are you feeling, George?
Hang on, sorry. Melly, come under the bed. Better than I have been.
That's good,
I was
that's
up in Cambridge at the weekend, but I left really early yesterday, and I had a bit of an attack, so I'm not feeling amazing today,
Okay.
but not too bad.
Oh yeah, I saw your group photos with the crew at Cambridge.
With the
I think
crew,
those are
with
cute.
the crew. Yeah,
Good
it was.
photos. I'm glad you're doing okay, but I hope you feel better from today.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Mouse.
Oh, did you have a good birthday?
Very good birthday.
Good birthday.
Oh, Lily is sneaky in the background.
Lily
Hello. Hello, Lily and
is
Emma.
always sneaky, the thing in the dark.
Oh,
My little baby under the bed. Mama.
I came up with a fun idea, which I don't know if
Yeah?
it's been done before. So I was eating my soup before, but I'm done now. My grandma's been sending me soup in like jars. And I was thinking, you know how there's
Interesting.
those like loot boxes and things that people make that you can like you get like one a month or
Soup
something.
boxes?
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, what if there was like a granny crate where you'd get like a wholesome meal that like a grandma would make to your doorstep every month?
Aww. That's kind of funny.
That'd be
That's cute.
I like that. Full of good ideas today.
Oh, you're giving me all the love today, Melly. Yum.
Should I put some... Should I change the music slightly?
He can't hear no music.
Up to you.
Oh no, I haven't played it yet, but we've
Oh.
had the same couple of tunes. I wonder if maybe this would be cool.
Don't you be looking at me
But
like
this is
that.
slightly more like optimistic.
Optimism is for idiots.
Says Cass.
I mean, Cass is fine. Cass is just levitating now. I feel like she's literally levitating and just like kind of watching, like, you know, like the shock Pikachu face, like, oh no.
Yeah. Okay. How are we feeling, lads?
Let's hit it.
Feeling good.
Not confident we'll be able to do enough, but we will see in moments.
Hang on, my iPad's going crazy. Oh god, sorry. Offline? Why is that? No, there I have Wi-Fi. Why is it connected to my hotspot? Oh god. Give me just a sec. Tech issues. Just give me 1 second. Keeping my secrets. How are you guys feeling about the trial so far?
Good.
Good.
Good?
Good.
Having a
I think
Yeah.
so far we're all doing very well, tumbling to our deaths.
Oh,
Ain't that just the way?
And we haven't died yet, so that's a big win so far.
Big thanks to the
I think there's one up in the Oh, no, those ones were out. Those ones were out last night. Would you like some water, Nick?
Okay. Yes, please.
Would you like some ice in your water?
No, thank you.
No? Would you like to taste it? No? This was a bit criminal. I think it's better to put the food in the small one. Yeah. It's just tea leaves, but like it's listed. Okay. You wanted ice on there?
Was there a voice of the song just then?
Right, so okay, so as I said previously, you guys are currently feather falling, but falling nonetheless. Are two tracks playing at once? No. You guys are feather falling, but falling nonetheless. You've done your best so far to make sure that the other team members do not quite fall victim to this cascade of ice and snow. However, the closer you get to the ground, the more you realise you might be in a bit more immediate peril than you realised. The floor of this basin is a churning field of snow and ice. And I think, Slia, so you throw down that roll of twine that tangles Alabek and his team kind of together. You lose one of your knitting needles kind of to the fall. And you watch it's just like churned and splintered. It's that quick. And then spat out again in fractured, frozen pieces. Hitting the ground would not be advisable, you think. So, what do you do next? No one is in danger of falling to death anymore. But Ulster,
Yeah.
where would you like to go?
So the other dryad is on the carpet, right?
Yeah.
I think if I can signal the carpet to go under Nasha's group, that covers them.
Okay.
I'm gonna otherwise just start pulling whoever's close up onto the carpet with my movement actions.
Right, so I think that there's three of you on the carpet, so you can use three of you on the carpet and shoot.
Yeah.
So you guys can use those turns to your advantage. So also you kind of direct the carpet to go underneath Nasha's team. In doing so, you watch as the ice dryad kind of reaches up and manages just to grab Nasha almost by the scruff like a kitten. She's like, she's like pulled off the ice, and her kind of like tusk-like grips just kind of like fracture and crack out of the ice, leaving deep, deep circular indents where they were buried.
She reminds me of Catcher a bit.
Who, Nasha? Yeah. Inspiration? Maybe. So, Nasha is safe on the carpet, I'll say, with that. You have your own carpet. Who are you going to pick up? You have Slia and Bluey, who are farther away. Neff is... Neff, were you closer to You're closest to Cass, aren't you?
I was,
Yeah.
but Cass levitated.
You were,
and
but
Neff
now
kept falling.
Cass is
Oh,
levitating.
actually, that's a good point. Can I? Oh, I should have tried to grab Neff.
Can I try to grab Cass?
Yeah.
On your turn, we can discuss this. But you see, Neff is falling whilst Cass seems safe.
I will pull the carpet under Neff.
Okay.
So if Neff falls onto the carpet.
Neff, I'll just, for the sake of brevity, make me a dexterity check. Slow easy.
Check or a saving throw?
Just to make sure you're not buoyant enough to fall.
Just a check. That is very bad. It is a 6.
6? Okay. With a 6, you are quite buoyant, and you kind of feel like bong, bong, bong. However, like I said, this was mostly for brevity, for flavour, rather than any fatal end. So, I'm going to say that Loran is able to, specifically to Nasha, actually, kind of like grab you by your tail and just kind of like you just kind of dangle off the edge of the carpet. And he leaves you there for a second. It's like, no.
My tail? I don't have a tail anymore.
Tail of your shirt.
Tail of your shirt, yeah. Like, you know, ducktail?
Sad.
Like, when you tuck in the front but the back is a little bit untucked.
Yeah, I feel you. I've got a nice frilly dress. But my tail is
I'm
gone.
Please tell me you're wearing armor.
I'm a monk. I'm not
Yeah,
wearing
you
armor.
guys would have... Well, I think we discussed this already. You guys had decided you were going to wear ceremonial clothes and then you were going to wear, like,
Change
slightly
into
different, like, armor and stuff.
battle
Yeah.
gear. Pew pew pew.
I do have bracers of defense. That's what I'm wearing currently. And I do have a shield that I can choose to equip. And chainmail that I can choose to equip. But it's going to disadvantage me in other ways.
What if you surf with your shield?
Oh, what? Wait, what movie is that from? Sinbad? The shield surfing. I feel like I remember that.
I'm thinking Breath of the Wild, but
Oh, also
I'm
that.
sure it's-
True.
Hmm.
That'd be kind of cool. Actually, can I surf on the snow if I get a chance? With my shield?
Shield surfing,
Like Sinbad.
like Sinbad.
Exactly like that.
Alright then.
At some point. You know, Neff is just looking out for that. You know, I'm just throwing that out there.
So, I'm not going to say shield surfing because you are already on the carpet, but you could pretend you're surfing on the top of the carpet.
Okay.
Much to the chagrin, much to the chagrin of Loran and also.
All right, Neff will pretend to surf.
Allston's still staring at the hole Sarah's made in the carpet. He's like, he looks so dispirited.
Loran is like, don't worry, we will get revenge for this. Right.
Revenge won't make it come back.
Well. Loran just doesn't have anything to say in that moment. It's like, alas, alack. So, next up in the order. Well, actually, Shu, do you want her to do anything? She's currently kind of tandem with Albert in this team.
I still want her to grab maybe 2 of them if any of them start falling.
Sure, okay. I think seeing the churning of the ice, she would sweep in front of Alabek and he would just get thrown onto her with one of his other team members, which leaves 2 of his team still heading towards the ice. Right. There are 4 people left in the drift. 2 members of Nasha's team, 2 members of Alabek's team. They all have names. Though you have not heard them speak, they are very fleshed out important NPCs. Now, I am sure each and every one of you really doesn't want them to die. So, next up, Bluey. You have a rope dangling down to the ice. What are you going to do next?
it doesn't. Has it not seemed to be close enough to the remaining 2 of Alabek's team?
As in... Oh, right, okay.
Like,
So you're probably going to need to... you are probably going to need to do a little bit of logistical movement / figuring out how you can get there. I think with Shu's assistance, you could probably maneuver. So if you want to try and do like an animal handling check, to get Shu to help you. That would be pretty cool, I think.
Because Bluey's got the rope in one hand, do you think she would be able to take out the pitchfork and just sort of like, because she's floating downwards rather than falling, like lightly stick the pitchfork in and sort of maneuver to where she would be above the remaining two, and then try and stab the pitchfork in if they're close enough, or maybe holding off on the stabbing.
Okay, so can you just describe to me again? You want to get the pitchfork out, still holding the rope, and you want to
be able
throw
to
it?
move yourself. No, using the pitchfork, like pushing against or like pulling yourself against like the avalanche.
Okay, alright. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to roll some kind of check to secure part of the pitchfork to the ice. For you, you're kind of on the side where it's a bit more snow dense rather than ice. So it might be a bit difficult without some assistance. So what you could do is you could hold your turn until Sleer's go, or you could hold your turn until another like Alabek's teams go, because they're the people closest to you. And you could get more done with two people if you wanted to.
Since it's not a traditional like initiative order kind of thing, would it be possible to just like have Bluey kind of direct Slia in whatever way she needs in terms of gaining some sort of assistance?
I'll allow it. Because we're doing this is to see how you guys can work together and what plans you can come up with. So yeah, I'll say, Bluey, if you want to use Slia, you can make a dexterity check and a strength check. And I'll say one of you roll one of you roll the other. And I'll describe to you kind of how those come together to kind of put your plan to work a bit.
I mean,
or different checks as well if you can sell them.
Right. I mean, Slee doesn't. Was Slee able to move themselves by like using the thread like slightly towards the rest of the team?
Not quite moving, but more. Not quite moving, but more like she was able to help them kind of get a connection so that they could hold on to each other. So she's still free falling.
Could Bluey like fastball special Slia into the other two with the rope?
Yes.
I'm not sure what that means.
Okay, right, Bluey, make me an athletics check, and Slia, make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. So essentially I think Bluey's going to be yeeting Slia into the others with the rope in the ice basin.
All right, that's a 22 athletics.
Nice. 19 plus 2, 21.
21?
As in, like, with the rope?
Okay. Right. Bluey, you still yourself. You look to the ice. You look to the ground. You look to Alabek's team. A little light bulb comes on over the top of your head. You look to Slia. Slia, there's a moment where you're like, what? Wait, what? And then you're like, oh. As Bluey, you kind of grab Slia. Slia, how do you go about this? Do you want to be like diving in? Do you want to be a cannonball?
I feel like she's just holding onto the rope and like praying, like, oh God, please let this work.
All three of my deities, please. As you kind of have that thought, you tighten your hands on the rope. And Bluey, Slia, you just go. It's like a whistle, you're like through the air. You are the wind beneath our wings. Right, so you're aiming for the two who are yet unsecured. The two members of Albert's team. Okay, you land like between them, like butt first in the snow. And I'm going to say, because it's quite a distance, you're going to take just a tiny bit of damage, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
You take, well, if it's snow, probably take it off a bit. I feel like a D4 is a bit too nice.
Yeah, nope. Slia knew what she signed up for when she volunteered for this.
You take 6 points of damage. Oh wait, hang on. I'm being called on for the homework. I'll really quickly just do it. Hang on. I have to really quickly do my homework. Can I just, is it okay? Hello?
Wow.
Cool. Sorry about that. I'm supposed to be in a lecture, but I'm also doing this. So. Okay. So they just called on me to do the homework, and I was like, "Oh goodness, I was not expecting this." Right. So, Slia, you sit between the two of them, and I think you can definitely grab on to whoever it is you want to. Whoever it is you want to. Bluey, can you make me a strength check? Because I just want to make sure you can sustain this connection. Hello.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
Oh, you've got that connection real good.
Do you want to put your hand? Yeah.
My left hand, too.
So, putting your left-handed, okay. I think you're able to sustain that connection. And in doing so, I'm going to say, Slia, holding on to the others, letting them kind of also get the rope. You're able to, without exerting yourself too much, pull them up from the snow. And in the next round, you're probably going to need a bit of help, Bluey. But in the next round, so long as you get onto a secure surface, you get the impression you'll be able to lift people up.
Okay.
And out of harm's way. Okay, so next in the order we have Cass. Cass, you're levitating.
I am levitating. Okay, so we've got the lesbians on one magic carpet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all safe. And then is that right?
Yeah. No, there's 2 of them who are still in the drift.
Okay, I think Cass would sort of, because now that Neff's on the carpet, basically Cass is waiting to be scooped up, but in the meantime, she can't move. She's just like, because she has to be attached to something. So I think she's going to throw down a rope to the lesbians to try and like.
So with levitate, you do have to be constantly 20 feet above ground. So I think
do
you're
you?
going to still. I think that's right.
That's a tensor's floating disc, is it not?
It could be. I might be wrong.
I don't think you do. I think.
Okay, then
I think it
scratch that. Make me a. You can do dexterity or athletics to throw the rope.
It's not doing dexterity. What is that nonsense? Oh, that's not very good. That's a 10.
10. I'm going to say you'll need to have another go at it in your next round.
Okay.
Or let someone else help you. But next up is Loran's turn. And Loran looks to you all stare and just says, "Are we picking people up?"
If we can. He looks back at the rip in the carpet.
Loran's like, "Okay." He takes her hand and he's just like, "I will fix this. I promise.
Please.
Of course, I will fix Sarah's mistake." Sarah's like, "What the fuck? I was going to die." And Sarah's not Sarah. Loran twists the carpet. 3 of you on it. This is the one that's made a bit more for
This is a bigger one,
bigger
yeah.
one, yeah. Goes over and is able to sweep up the other 2 from the ice. Now, because there is nobody left in the danger zone per se, with 2 members of these, 2 candidates on Shoe's back, 3 are being held up by Bluey as she slowly drifts to the ground. I'm assuming someone is going to go and fix that. With Cass levitating. And Neff, what are you doing?
I would like.
That's on the carpet.
Surfing on the carpet, yeah.
Yeah, but there is something that I want to do while I'm surfing on the carpet.
Sure, go on.
Would I be able to cast a sneaky little mending on the on Sarazar's mistake?
I will allow it. You can mend it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to change the music. Yeah, of course. Ignore the smell of the cat.
Emma, I have a fun flavor question.
I will treat you bad.
Could I potentially
Yes.
could I potentially attempt to roll performance to make it seem like, even though I'm casting the mending, can I make it seem like maybe Loran is doing it?
Oh. Yes, you can try.
Okay. I'll roll
Oh,
performance.
I hope you do badly. Oh, look at what Loran's doing! Is it's very clear, like you're like. Zzz.
Okay, it's not the greatest. It's an 11. It might require a bit of falling items.
Not for Brian, who sees all and knows all.
Yeah. Passive perception is 20.
What did you roll now?
11 on performance. Oh wow! Haha.
11.
Loran.
Okay. With an 11, you kind of pick up Loran's hands and you're like, woo! And then you very clearly cast mending. Loran's like, I would do it much better than this, but I appreciate the effort now.
Haha.
Allstate gives Neff a grateful smile.
Aw. She'll return the
Loran,
sheepish smile.
Loran just pats you on the top of the head. Sarah looks pleased. Thank you for fixing this.
Neff nods.
So, I'm going to say, with the speed of the carpets, you're able to kind of pick up any stragglers and then capture Bluey before she hits the bottom, so that the rest of Alabek's team can dangle from the end of the rope. Now, as you guys fly above this basin, you notice the moment Bluey is safely on the carpet, the churning ice stills and reforms into a glass-like, slightly snow-dusted, icy disc. Sorry.
So as in what it looked like before.
Yes. Except now there are sheer drops on either side. This kind of large, wide chasm. It's 80 foot deep, but it's really, really, really wide. And you can see that almost like the sort of natural arches in glaciers, there are divots and dips revealed beneath the ice. A bit more to see than just the flat expanse. And Nasha's team, with you on it, Louis, are the first to land on the ice. Do you follow?
He's happy.
Oh.
Who follows?
I was literally like, who is that? And I was like, I was like so confused.
It's my mum.
It's your mama.
Okay. Do you follow Nasha down to the bottom of the ice?
Who are you asking?
All of you. You're all on your own separate things. So you guys have to decide what you're going to do next. Nasha, with Bluey attached, Sleer as well, and two of Alabek's team, directs the carpet down and starts to kind of land on the ice again.
Could I drop a flower on the ice?
You can. It drifts. What flower are you dropping?
A big one.
You drop a carrion flower.
Yeah.
The biggest flower I could think of. It stinks. And it drifts down and hits the ice and settles there.
Okay. He'll bring the carpet down.
Sleer, you hit the ground first, and the rest of you follow suit. The carpet fills up at the back of Loran's back again. And Bluey, I think you probably are quite keen to grab the carpet and roll up your rope and stuff so that Nasha doesn't keep it.
I will take my carpet back from Nasha. I'll walk over, take the carpet, go back to my group.
That's
When
levitates
all of you
down as
land,
well.
shaken, you notice that there are some of the other members of the teams, due to their little drift down the snow, are not unharmed by the journey. However, most of you are unscathed. Now, inside this basin of ice, the drops of sort of glass-like ice sheets around you, like mountains, settling now, no longer precariously balanced. Nasha looks around the perfectly circled dip and turns to you all and she says, I don't know about you. To me, this looks a little bit like an arena. And that is where we will end the session.
I think also I think it looks like a fishbowl.
That's where we'll end the session for today. Thank you guys so much for playing. I'm sorry I had a few tech issues and had to quickly...
Okay, thank you for hosting.
No worries. Yeah,
Alright,
thank you very much for the game.
On a usual session, I would be able to sort of do the uni stuff before we start. If we started at 10:30, so I'll be able to skip that part. But today is a bit unusual. Right, thank you, friends, so much. I'm going to have to rush really quickly.
I'm also going to have
Thank
to go.
you. Have a good day at work.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.